And at number 10, Kim Kardashian's tape. This is truly the scandal that started it all, and the Kardashians arguably would not be where they are today without the release of this tape. Right before Keeping Up with the Kardashians was set to air on E!, the intimate tape of Kim and her then boyfriend Ray J was leaked to the public and went insanely viral. The Kardashians got in a legal battle to try and get it under control, but it didn't work, and the tape was eventually sold to a media company and released. Kim said about the tape in a 2012 interview, quote, "I'm not naive to the fact that that's pretty much how I was introduced to the world. It was a negative way, so I felt like I really had to work 10 times harder to get people to see the real me. I felt humiliated." In the years since its release, it's been long rumored that the Kardashian family leaked the tape themselves to drum up publicity and a storyline for the show. And if that's the case, it totally worked. And at number 9, Kylie Jenner's lips. Kylie Jenner was once considered the ugly duckling of the Jenner sisters, and she was not treated the same way as the rest of her family. Because of her insecurities, she's gotten a lot of procedures and has become unrecognizable from her former self. However, following all these procedures, she is now considered one of the most beautiful women in the world. Kylie's first procedure was lip injections, and it was hard to deny that there was a huge difference in the size of her lips basically overnight. At first, she denied it and claimed it was all lip liner, but the public isn't stupid and we all knew it was a lie. Then later in 2017, she decided to fess up to the change and admitted she got lip filler because of an insecurity about the size of her lips. Later, she turned all the talk about her lips into a billion-dollar business, selling her Kylie lip kits, which was the first of its kind. And at number 8, Kim and Kris Humphrey's 72-day marriage. Kim's lavish wedding was considered the wedding of the century, and there was even a 2-part special created on E! To celebrate the big day. But since so much content was created out of the relationship, many questioned if the whole thing was just for show. Those accusations got even worse when it was revealed that Kim filed for divorce only 72 days after their lavish wedding. Kris even sued Kim at one point, claiming the relationship was fraudulent just for press. However, Kim clarified on a May 2017 appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen that she knew the marriage was doomed from the beginning. Quote, "I just thought, holy shit, I'm 30 years old, I better get this together, I better get married." And number 7, Lea Michele. Lea Michele used to be the queen of musical theater, making a name for herself on the hit show Glee. But that all changed in 2020 when she got called out by plenty of her former cast and crewmates, saying she was a rude and entitled brat. The person who kicks this off was Samantha Ware. She started the entire downfall of Lea Michele after she called out Michele for the way that she acted on the set of Glee. When Lea Michele posted tweets in support of George Floyd after his death, Ware decided to call out Michele on the hypocrisy. She commented, quote, "Remember when you made my first television gig a living hell," adding that Michele was microaggressive towards her and even threatened her. After this, plenty more people of color that Lea Michele had worked with came forward to expose her. As of now, she's just laying low and hasn't been cast in a project in years. And at number 6, James Charles. James Charles was at one point the biggest beauty YouTuber on the platform, and he was so popular that he even got major celebrities to collaborate with him on his channel, like Kylie Jenner and Doja Cat. But there have been so many ups and downs in his career, it seems that the beauty community is just tired of him. James has been at the center of some of the biggest cancellations on YouTube, and after his recent 2021 cancellation, I think his career is done for good, specifically because in 2021, he was cancelled for the exact same thing that he was cancelled for back in 2019 during Bye Sister. He owned up to his problematic behavior in a video, then left the internet for about 4 months. Then when he came back, his channel had a significant drop. James used to get over 5 million views a video easily, but now he struggles to get about 2 million. Of course, these are still massive numbers, but it's clear that there's been a noticeable decline. Halfway number 5, Shane Dawson. Shane Dawson was basically the king of YouTube in 2020. He had multiple massive docu-series that were breaking the internet, and he was doing numbers that nobody had seen on the platform. But that all changed when problematic behavior from his past resurfaced. It was exposed that he was a key part of James Charles' original Bye Sister cancellation, and he wasn't the nice empath that he'd been portraying for years. Shane stayed off the internet for about a year and a half before coming back with a haunted series for Halloween in 2021. Although, like we've seen in other cases, his return was not well received and his series got a fraction of what his past ones usually did. And at number 4, Sia. Sia is best known as an iconic singer, but she decided to take a dive into directing, and it got her canceled. She decided to create and direct a movie called Music about a girl with autism. The movie was star-studded, including Kate Hudson in the cast, who won a Golden Globe for her performance. After the film was released, it faced extensive backlash. Many found the film damaging to the autistic community, while perpetuating stereotypes about the condition. Sia also got backlash for deciding to cast Maddie Ziegler, her longtime dancer, in that role instead of an actual autistic person. As of now, the reviews for the movie are atrocious, with only a 14% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. And at number 3, Tristan Thompson cheats on Khloe. Sadly, cheating is something that Khloe has had to deal with throughout her entire relationship with Tristan. At first, when they got together, together, everyone was thrilled and he seemed like a great guy. But then right before Khloe was set to give birth in 2018, leaked video showed that Tristan was out cheating on Khloe at a club. At the time, she was 9 months pregnant, and sadly she learned that he was nothing but a cheater who was not ready for commitment. A source close to Thompson told us exclusively, quote, "None of his friends are surprised by this and they all know that he cheats." Then more photos came out showing him taking a girl into his hotel room late at night, meaning this was clearly a pattern and not the first time. Khloe decided to stay with Tristan for the sake of her family, but this would not be the last time that he publicly embarrassed her. And at number 2, Tristan cheats on Khloe again. The phrase "once a cheater, always a cheater" is most fitting here, because after getting back with Khloe, Tristan cheated once again. To make matters worse, he cheated with close family friend of the Kardashians, Jordyn Woods. After this, Khloe was quick to call it quits. A source said, quote, "This time it hurts even more because the person who it was with is someone who knows very much what Khloe has gone through in the past year." A second insider said that Thompson is, quote, "just a cheater and doesn't care about anyone besides himself, his wants and his needs in the moment." Jordyn went on Red Table Talk after the scandal and confessed that they did kiss, but nothing more. Then unfortunately, after some time apart, Tristan and Khloe got back together in August of 2020, but have split again since. And finally at number 1, Kanye's presidential run. This scandal is unfortunate because at first it had nothing to do with the Kardashians, but during one of Kanye's campaign rallies, he spilled some major secrets about his relationship with Kim. The worst was when Kanye exposed that he and Kim almost terminated the pregnancy with their first child, North. A source told Us Weekly that the Skims founder was, quote, "deeply upset with Kanye for talking about their personal life and for making matters that are very personal to them and their family public." Then Kanye went off on Twitter, revealing even more secrets and even accusing Kim of cheating with rapper Meek Mill. 6 months later, Kim filed for divorce. Apparently, the pair had been living separate lives for many months, and Kim was just done dealing with Kanye's unpredictable behavior.
At number 10, we have Whoopi Goldberg. Now, Whoopi is known for her comedic performances, however, every now and then she pushes it way too far and makes comments she just shouldn't have made. Back in 2004, Whoopi was quick to make some few wise cracks at the expense of George Bush during a Democratic fundraiser. Unfortunately, the puns didn't sit quite well with SlimFast, and the weight loss product manufacturer decided to drop Whoopi from their advertisements shortly after. In a statement, the company would say, "We at SlimFast trust the public and understand that the way in which Whoopi chose to express herself and her own personal beliefs at the recent fundraiser at Radio City Music Hall does not reflect the views and values of SlimFast." The company then went on to say they were extremely disappointed by the manner and the star chose to conduct herself, and that they would no longer be featuring her in ads on air. Whoopi's situation then would go on to highlight it's sometimes better to just leave politics to the politicians and keep your own beliefs to yourself. At number 9, we have Lil Wayne. Now, Lil Wayne learned the hard way that sometimes you have to be careful about what you rap about. Back in 2013, Lil Wayne's rhymes ended up getting him in a little bit of trouble when he stirred up some controversy with a distasteful lyric mentioning of civil rights martyr Emmett Till. The Money on My Mind rapper would then be dropped from a multi-million deal with Mountain Dew, and Mountain Dew's parent company PepsiCo would issue an official statement saying they did not plan any additional work with Lil Wayne moving forward. His offensive reference to the revered civil rights icon does not reflect the values of our brand. Lil Wayne would then come out with his own apology, which would highlight that he would refrain from making any more references about Emmett Till or the Till family in general. However, Lil Wayne's apology wouldn't fix the situation, and Mountain Dew would pull the plug officially on its relationship with the rapper. At number 8, we have Lance Armstrong. Lance was at the height of his career before he was caught cheating his way through 7 Tour de France titles. In October of 2012, an extensive report by the US Anti-Drug Doping Agency eventually found that the athlete was part of the most sophisticated, professionalized, and successful doping programs that the sport has ever seen. Now, at first, Lance did try to deny the allegations, however, the report proved it was impossible to dismiss, forcing Armstrong to stand down as his chairman of a cancer charity he founded, Livestrong. And later that month, Nike would sever all its connections with him, initially after saying they would stand by the cyclist. Due to the evidence, Nike would then come out to say in a statement that they were misled by the cyclist and that it was with great sadness that they have to terminate all their contracts with him. Now, Nike did, however, continue to support Livestrong only because Lance Lance decided to step down from his position at the charity.
And at number 7, Lamar Odom cheated on Khloe. This one truly breaks my heart because Khloe and Lamar were one of my favorite couples of all time. But sadly, this was when Khloe's bad luck with men would really start. It was revealed that during their marriage, Lamar cheated on Khloe countless times. They were married from 2009 to 2016, and in that time Lamar claims he slept with hundreds of women. He claimed later that he had a sex addiction. Khloe shared her thoughts on the news in a 2016 interview with Howard Stern. Khloe said, quote, "I was genuinely blown away. Like, when did he fit that in? I don't know." Then in an interview Lamar did in 2017, he revealed that after he got married to Khloe, women came out of the woodwork to try and be with him. Lamar added, quote, "If there's one thing I regret when I was married, it was having multiple affairs with different women. That wasn't the stand-up thing to do." Lamar later said he would get back with Khloe in a heartbeat. And at number 6, Kendall Jenner's Pepsi ad. Being in a Pepsi ad is a really high honor, and tons of celebrities like Michael Jackson and Cindy Crawford had the honor to be a part of one. So when the opportunity was presented to Kendall Jenner, she jumped at the chance. But it ended up causing the biggest scandal of her entire career. She was a part of a protest-themed ad in 2017 because at that time the Black Lives Matter movement was being heavily discussed in the media, and there was a lot of tension between protesters and law enforcement. But of course, using an important social movement to sell a can of soda rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and Pepsi and Kendall got tons of backlash. Pepsi pulled the commercial and issued an apology, while Jenner told Vogue in March of 2018 that her quote intention was not to hurt anyone, but it's still a huge stain on her reputation. Halfway at number 5, Kendall and Kylie's t-shirts. One of the many business ventures the Kardashians developed was a clothing line for Kendall and Kylie, simply named after themselves. The clothing line was pretty successful until the girls released an incredibly insensitive t-shirt showcasing the faces of deceased artists like the Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur. After the release in 2017, Biggie's mother, Valletta Wallace, called the sisters out on Instagram, writing, quote, "The disrespect of these girls to not even reach out to me or anyone connected to the estates baffles me." Paris Jackson also commented on how tone-deaf the release was. Paris took to Twitter and wrote in part, quote, "As a huge fan of Led Zeppelin, The Doors, Floyd, I mean these bands literally helped shape who I am today. I can't condone this fashion. Legends like these who completely changed our world today, not just the music world, should be respected and honored, not turned into this." A photographer who shot one of the images also filed a lawsuit against the Jenners, but it was dropped in April of 2018, and the sisters pulled the shirts almost immediately. And at number 4, Kim's blackface scandal. Cultural appropriation and blackfishing are something the Kardashians are called out for pretty often. The worst backlash on this subject was when Kim released a campaign for KKW Beauty, and fans accused her of blackface. This is because in the photo, her skin color was significantly darker than what we usually see. Kim immediately took down the photos and apologized. She later told the New York Times, quote, "I would obviously never want to offend anyone. I used an amazing photographer and a team of people. I was really tan when we shot the images, and it might be that contrast was off." Kim then re-edited the photos to be more natural, and the launch went off without a hitch.
At number 3, we have Chrissy Teigen. So Target decided to pull all of Chrissy Teigen's cookware line off the shelf after the star received backlash for cyberbullying singer and reality TV actress Courtney Stodden. The popular retailer decided to ultimately that they would no longer be carrying her line of cookware and cooking accessories. Chrissy would issue an apology, but Target no longer wanted anything to do with Chrissy as it didn't support the past tweets the star made about Courtney. However, it wouldn't be the only deal Chrissy would lose out on, as just hours after news broke, Bloomingdale's was just hours away from signing a contract with the cookbook author, however pulled out due to the toxic press. At number 2, we have Lea Michele. When the star came under fire for making her former Glee co-star Samantha Ware feel like she was living in hell while the two worked together on the show, Samantha would come out to accuse Lea of making a number of traumatic microaggressions towards her on set. And at one point, it even made Samantha question what kind of career she would have in Hollywood. By the time Lea came out to apologize for the issue, it would be too late for the star as she would already lose her endorsement deal with HelloFresh, a meal kit company. On top of that, many other co-stars came forward with their own stories about how the actor acted on set with them. HelloFresh would then come come out to say in a tweet that they do not condone racism or discrimination of any kind, and that they were extremely disappointed to learn about the recent claims made against Lea. They also stated that they took these allegations extremely seriously and that they were ending their partnership with Lea immediately.
And at number 10, Ellen DeGeneres. In 2020, Ellen went through one of the biggest scandals of all time when it was exposed that she was not the friendly, nice dancing lady that we see on screen, and behind the scenes she was incredibly mean. Ellen's fall from niceness all started when one of DeGeneres' former employees, Kevin T. Porter, tweeted out that Ellen was, quote, notoriously one of the meanest people alive. And the replies of the tweet shared tons of negative interactions that people had with Ellen over the years. This sparked a whole wave of exposing of not only Ellen, but her show as well. Then it was revealed that her show also had a toxic work environment and her staff were verbally berated constantly. There were even reports of inappropriate conduct by high-level producers of the show, which resulted in a number of the top producers getting fired. As of now, Ellen is set to end her long reign on daytime TV after this season is finished. And at number 9, Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams is notorious for her controversial opinions on her show that constantly get her in hot water. This year, she got tons of backlash after she made some insensitive comments while talking about a TikToker named Swaby. Wendy started off the segment saying she had no idea who he was and nobody in the audience would probably know either. Then she started talking about his TikTok followers and how he has more followers than her. Then her producer named Norman chimed in that Wendy actually has more followers than him on Instagram, not TikTok. Then out of nowhere, Wendy explains the reason that they're even talking about him is because he was killed. He died at the age of 19, and Wendy described the situation while adding that nobody is currently in custody, so the case will most likely not be solved. This clip then went viral online with people calling out Wendy for how strange and insensitive the segment was. Swaby's mother, Chanel Clark, told Philadelphia's CBS 3 that she didn't appreciate Williams' commentary. Quote, like as a mother, Wendy Williams, how dare you? So disrespectful. I used to watch you as a child and even though you have a gossip show and all that, you didn't even know my son. And at number 8, Amber Heard. Amber Heard has been in a messy divorce battle with her ex Johnny Depp for years now. Many online believe she is a liar and more evidence keeps mounting that she probably is. Some body camera footage from a pivotal night in their divorce battle was released this year, showing their apartment in 2016. The footage shows a tidy apartment, which is a stark contrast to what Amber claimed in her original testimony. And Depp and his lawyers believe that this proves that Amber lied when she said that Depp trashed their apartment that night. And that's why their relationship ended. Heard has given evidence in multiple legal cases saying that Depp hurled a phone at her face and trashed their penthouse kitchen during the May 2016 dust-up. But now it looks like that was not the case. And this is fueling even more backlash against the actress and support for Johnny Depp.
Number 7, we have Tiger Woods. While Tiger may seem to have his hands full these days with multiple endorsement deals, back in 2009, many companies would drop the golf legend after he went public about his marriage infidelity. Tiger would lose deals with Gatorade, AT&T, and Gillette. A representative from Gatorade would come out to say that they were ending their relationship with the golfer as they no longer saw a role for Tiger in their marketing efforts. The spokeswoman then would continue to go on that they wished him the best. Now, initially, Nike and Electronic Arts would stick closely by Woods until he came forward with his public apology. At number 6, we have Kate Moss. 17 years ago, many weren't impressed with a newspaper that ran some photos of Kate and her then boyfriend displaying in some pretty outrageous behavior. The photos would cause some clothing companies such as Chanel, Burberry, H&M to drop Kate from their campaigns, and the London newspaper would begin questioning if Kate was a fit role model for teenage girls. Burberry would then later come out to say that they were deeply saddened by Kate's current circumstances and that they hope she could overcome her problems as soon as possible. Now, since the scandal, Kate seemingly cleaned up her act and has since been named the new creative director of Diet Coke. At number 5, we have Lea Michele. American media personality Lea Michele lost her endorsement deal with lingerie company Savage X Fenty after she decided to make a joke about women's violence after referencing a situation that occurred with rappers Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. Now, the joke wouldn't sit well with others, and she would go on to say she was there for what happened. Almost immediately, comments started to call out Lea for being so insensitive towards the situation that occurred. Lea tried to make light of a situation, and the joke definitely didn't sit well with others, including Rihanna, who would then soon drop Lea from their endorsement. Now, Lea hopes one day she can get her endorsement back by the end of 2022, but I highly doubt that will ever happen. At number 4, we have Abby Lee Miller. Now, Abby Lee Miller has done some pretty outrageous things. The outspoken dance teacher in the hit show Dance Moms really made us question if we ever wanted to be dancers, or it made us pursue the idea of becoming one so we could one day train at her studio. However, Abby found herself in some pretty hot water when she was called out by a former dance mom, Adriana Smith. Now, Adriana has claimed that Abby made a number of racist remarks against her daughter, Cameron, while she trained with Abby at Abby's studio. The situation came to light when Abby posted to her Instagram with a post on Blackout Tuesday to support Black Lives Matter and its movement. As a result, Adriana came forward with the allegations, and Lifetime ultimately decided to cancel Abby's new series, Abby's Virtual Dance-Off.
And at number 3 is Zoe Laverne. Zoe Laverne was cancelled in 2020 after a leaked video showed her kissing a minor. The fan was 13 and had become friends with Zoe at the time, and since Zoe was 19, this is disgusting. After the video went viral, there were rumors that she had been arrested, but we later learned that was not the case. She later took to Instagram Live to address the video, saying she didn't do anything wrong with Connor, adding, quote, "I wouldn't do that to him. I literally love Connor to death. I wouldn't do anything to him ever without consent. Connor and I both consented to kissing. That's how it went. We both liked each other, and then we realized that the ages were too different. Nothing happened between us besides kissing." And the fact that she was defending it just makes it so much worse. She's been laying low on the internet ever since. And at number 2, Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen got cancelled in 2021 after it was exposed that she bullied other celebrities on Twitter in the past. These old tweets were incredibly shocking and problematic and proved what a nasty person that she could be. Courtney Stodden was the first person to bring up Chrissy's problematic behavior and expose the mean tweets that Chrissy tweeted about Courtney, including telling Courtney that they should, quote, "take a dirt nap." Chrissy apologized, writing, quote, "As you know, a bunch of my old awful tweets resurfaced. I'm truly ashamed of them, as I look at them and understand the hurt that they've caused." Although plenty of fans do not believe her apology is sincere. And finally, at number 1, Chris Noth. Following the release of the 2021 Sex and the City reboot called And Just Like That, actor Chris Noth has been accused of sexual crimes against multiple women. The women, who remained anonymous, said that the events happened in 2004 and 2015. Noth and these women had sexual relations which were either non-consensual or consent was granted after pressure. After the allegations became public, Peloton decided to pull their ad featuring the actor. Both women told The Hollywood Reporter that Noth's return to the Sex and the City franchise had triggered memories of their experiences with him years ago. Neither of the encounters were reported to police at the time. As of now, 5 women have come out against him. The 3 leading women on Sex and the City have also issued a statement supporting the women that have come out against Noth.